GGRC.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of GGRC. I'm RC, and today we are checking out Megaquarium. That's right, it's not Megaquarium, it's Megaquarium. This is actually a really fun game. For those of you who are into the zoo tycoon type of games, this is a game where you basically get to build your own aquarium, and you get all kinds of crazy fish and all kinds of crazy to-do lists to take care of and everything. I actually have the very first mission here pulled up. You can take a look at it here. This is actually a very simple setup here. You can see we have our entrance over here where people come in, and your aquarium just kind of floats in the ether out somewhere, right? But regardless, what happens here is you are just building all of these different aquariums to house different fish to fulfill your to-do list and to gain money. Again, like I said, this is the very first aquarium here, so it's not going to be as exciting as some of the other aquariums that I've already built here. Let's see here. So you can see actually one of the things that's going on right now is one of our workers is carrying his toolbox over to fix the heater for these fish in this tank here. So you can go around, check out what people are doing. These bins here are actually the feed for the fish. So fish eat anything from like orange pellets to green pellets, which are, you know, grass versus meat pellets. I'm assuming they are. I don't know. But you can house all kinds of different fish as well. You know, in this simple first level here, they don't give you much option. You know, they're kind of just teaching you the ropes of the game, and there are a lot of deep things to learn with this game. The more you play it, obviously, the more familiar you get with it, and the more fun it is, I think. So in this tank, for instance, you know, we have these yellow tangs, and when you click on a tank, you get this different list to show up with all the things that are in the tank. So you get like these salad leaves here. Sea lettuce, I'm sorry, salad leaf, sea lettuce. But we have 3 of those in this tank, along with a decoration, which is a driftwood cave. Now, some fish, you know, feel it necessary to hide, and they use this to hide in it. And all of your fish are going to have needs that you need to fill within each tank. So some of them need more sea lettuce, some of them need a you know, a piece of driftwood to hide in. Some of them need more heating than others. Some of them need more filtration. Some fish can only be housed in a tank on their own, while other fish need a huge school of fish to be around. So there's a lot of different things you actually have to get together here for them to be happy. So you can see actually that list here. You know, you got your list here. Here we go. Yeah, you click on the yellow tang. We got 3 yellow tangs here. You can see what they need to be happy. So, you know, it tells you what size they're going to be. Tells you what they eat here. Tells you that they need a water quality of 60% to stay happy and healthy. They also require at least one piece of, you know, I guess you could say a plant under the water as well. You know, we have sea lettuce here, but as you get further on, you get different options for the different plants that live underwater, which is pretty cool. So again, this is just a very simple aquarium here. We're gonna jump into another one here, though. Let's see. What do we? Let's check out the one that I just built here in Elmshorn. Now, just so you guys know, I've spent quite a bit of time in these levels here, just building it up, doing to-do lists and everything. You can see here that the very first level took me about an hour to complete. The second level took an hour 40 minutes. The third one took me about 2 hours. Now, the reason being is because you could probably blast through these to-do lists a lot quicker than what I'm doing, but I'm actually taking my time in building the aquarium I want. And actually, because of that, let's actually jump into both of them here. This is actually the second level here. So you can see it's very much like the first one, except it's a bit bigger here. So what you're doing here, actually, this one actually introduces the wall tanks and stuff like that. So you can see that patrons are actually coming in, and they're viewing the fish through these wall tanks, which are more accessible to the workers, you know, through their back area here. I actually made this so that way the whole back area is accessible by the workers. So you got this whole long area that the workers can go through, and the patrons are only allowed to go through this middle area here. So, I mean, we've got eels. Eels are a new thing in this level here. You can see them swimming around in here. And you can actually get right in there if you want to check them out, which is kind of fun. You can also see that there's a new grass here, too. That's the eel grass. And they have 2 pieces of driftwood that they can hide in, because everybody knows that eels kind of like to hide in their holes and whatnot and get away, right? Let's see. There's the yellow tangs from the first level there. This also introduces this guy here. Here we go, the coral grouper. Now, the coral grouper, he's kind of an angry fish. He's actually, says right, dislikes con species, cannot be housed with coral grouper. So he has to be housed by himself. You can't put in another coral grouper or they will pretty much fight each other to the death in there, which is not good. So we just put him in there by himself, and people come over here and they're like probably disappointed that there's only one fish in the tank. What are you gonna do? Let's see, moving on here, you can see we got more yellow tangs over here. There's a coral grouper over here by himself again. Here's one of the things about the game too, more eels here, is that in certain levels you're only going to get so many different fish to pick from until you get to the very end. At the very end you're going to get a lot more. Once I load up the next level you'll see what I'm talking about here. Oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, okay. So my hermit crab here is actually very, very hungry. I don't know why people are not feeding him. But that's something I'm going to have to come back to later and take care of. But he's he's dying of hunger, that poor guy. Yeah, you can see here he's down to the red. I'll reload that save at some point and save him. Here's another new fish here. You have the longhorn cowfish. We have a couple of these in here. But this cowfish tank actually introduces something new too, which you may see around this tank. There's no filters, you know, there's no heaters or anything. It's because you can actually set up pumps behind the wall that run underground to run filtration and to heat the tanks over here. So both of these tanks actually have their own pumps that are running over here. So the way this works is that any of these things that are touching the pump are running to this tank over here. So if they need more heating, you're going to create like this gigantic heater like what we have here. We also have these two little filters here running things for them too. Okay, yeah, I think that's a good look at the second level. Let's actually take a look at the level I just completed recently. And you can see this has a similar look, except this is like a complete circle that people can come in with. So what's cool about this game is that they start you off with a level, a very small level, and they give you a to-do list of things to do. And the to-do list, as you finish the list, just keeps going and going and going. And what I like about it is that even though some of the levels are going to take you a long time to finish, you have the option of finishing a to-do list. You have the what I should say is you can save at any point you want. So for me, I had the option of finishing a to-do list, and whenever I finish a to-do list, that's when I would probably save and take a break or just keep going. And say like, okay, just one more list, you know. But this particular level actually started off with only this tank right here that I currently have highlighted here. And the to-do list was you had to have like a lot of different species in one tank here, and this is a very large tank. This is the first level that actually introduces these platforms too, so the workers can go up on these platforms and feed the fish through over the platform here. The tank also needs a lot of filtration and heating compared to the other tanks here. So my place here actually went through a lot of iteration. And so if you're not the kind of person who likes playing tycoon games and reiterating your park and changing things and moving things around so that way it flows better and everything, you're not going to like it. You know, you almost have to be sort of like really into organization. And part of that is really fun for me in this. I really actually enjoy that. So I actually started with this tank and built this little tank here, and then it just kind of worked its way around. So we'll take you around here, and you'll see a few familiar faces here, with, you know, like with the eel here. The zebra moray eel is hanging out there. In this one we have the... Whoop. You can actually select anybody here too. You can select the worker and see what they're up to. This is Flick. You can actually fire people if they're not doing well, or if you can't make you're not making enough money. Select this tank here, but these are disco mushrooms. Now, in this level, they're actually introducing something brand new again, next to the platforms and everything, with the lighting kit. So you can actually set up these lighting kits around here because certain species of, you know, fungus and these mushrooms, for example, they need light to survive. So there we go, we have the light. But it also introduces this new filtration sort of system here. It's a protein skimmer, and it helps achieve a higher water quality than normal filters. So I actually have one of those and then a heater over there, and that's taking care of the mushrooms just fine. But the mushrooms also eat different food. They have this like pink box of plankton that they eat. So got to keep that in mind when you're taking care of your fish. This was also what I thought was another animal I thought was really cool that they introduced is the lionfish. So they finally got the lionfish in there. And you can see they're kind of hiding in there. They do better when they're actually hiding, too. They're another animal that requires a cave. Here we go. Here's another new one here. This is the panther grouper. Now, the panther groupers actually get along better than the coral grouper that we saw earlier, and they actually can hang out together here. There's two of them. So, as you can see, you could just keep working your way around here, like, you know, if you were in there, and you could just see all these great fish here. Some of the other great things they added in here, too, are this cowfish. Or, I'm sorry, not the cowfish. We saw the cowfish. This is the puffer, the porcupine puffer. And they're pretty fun to watch, actually. Here's the cowfish that I was just talking about. We saw them in the previous level. Here they are again. But moving on, this is a brand new gigantic tank. This tank is like right across from this one. I thought that this tank was big when I started. Your final to-do list is they want you to build this tank and put like an absolute ton of fish in it and like a combination of other things. So you can see like I got 3 different types of plant in there. You got kelp, you got the sea lettuce, and you got the different grass down there at the bottom. We have a conch shell, we have driftwood for the eel to hide in, and we have an absolute ton of angelfish in there, which is kind of fun. But this level, like I said, is done. But it took me 2 hours to complete because I wanted to keep reiterating this, and I was having absolute ton of fun doing that. So what we're going to do here, I'm sorry, this is very front-loaded with a lot of information right off the bat for a tycoon game. What we're going to actually do here is we're going to start a brand new game on the new level that just unlocked for me, which is Valberg. So as you can see, I actually haven't really gotten that far into the game, though I have put almost 5 hours into it, you know, between the 4.5, 5 hour mark at this point. But again, it's one of those games that you're going to end up playing, and if you really, really enjoy it, you're going to spend the time to get the levels, you know, your aquariums to where you want them. One of the things I really like about this game, though, is that they actually set you up with scenarios as opposed to, like, just giving you a park and saying, go. So each time you pick a level here, you start off with a brand new aquarium. They give you a to-do list, and actually we'll jump into it right here. So like you can see here at the first one, it was like you learn the basics. The second level was to establish your name by refurbishing an old aquarium. This one is you had to be an architect for a private collector. That's why you notice that the brown bamboo, you know, around is a little bit different for the private collector. But this one for the 4th level is actually restore this historic aquarium to profitability. So let's see what we can do here, huh? So it gives you a little bit of information right as you start. It says this historic aquarium has been in decline for years. It needs a new curator willing to shake things up. Are you up to the challenge? I think we'll be all right. Part of the problem is the weather is so cold in Valberg that none of the heaters work at full capacity, just 66% to be exact. So we're probably going to have to build more heaters for all of these fish here. See if you can turn the cold temperatures to your advantage with this new piece of equipment, the chiller. Chillers were used to keep tanks at cold water temperatures, allowing us to keep cold water animals like this cuckoo wrasse, I think is how you say it. Pretty cool, colorful fish, though, I gotta say. It gets better here in Valberg. They are 50% more effective than normal. In other words, you can chill bigger tanks with less chillers. Okay, so in this one, we're actually exploring a completely different species, which is kind of cool. So let's jump in, shall we? So you can see over here we have our to-do list. It's represented by this trophy. So far I've gotten to the point where I've had 2 to-do lists going at once. But at the moment we only have the one, so let's do what we can here. So our first order of business is to unlock the cuckoo wrasse. So actually, when you are ranking up and you're researching species and that kind of thing, you have your pick of whatever you want to do here. Actually, we haven't done starfish yet either, so that'll be a new one this round too. But you know, just to follow the to-do list, we're actually going to go with the cuckoo. But you could go back to a previous rank and you could see like, oh, at rank 4 I actually unlocked all these 3, so you could pick between those if you want. But because we have the to-do list, we're going to pick him. And now you can see in the bottom left, we are actually now researching that guy. And now at this point, we need to pick some other things to research. So what's hard about this is I don't really know what we have available. I assume we have everything else available that we need. So let's go with, let's see. I want to see what he actually needs. Let me choose later. All right, so he needs cave. He needs a cave, so he definitely, we need to put some driftwood or something up for him. He may damage crustaceans that are size 2 or less, so we cannot put him in a tank with the hermit crab because he'll probably eat him. Growth time increased by 1 each day that all requirements are met. Will grow to 11 after 5 days. So it's a relatively big fish here. And it requires a water quality of 60%. This is also a cold water tank. So there's a lot of things to match up with the cuckoo here. Now, since we closed out what we were going to research for science, we can actually click that at any time. We can decide what we want to go for here. Let's go with the large protein skimmer just because that ended up being very, very helpful last round. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got 2 big, deep tanks here with these fox-face rabbit fishes, or fishies, however you want to say it. This tank actually has room for more. It also has a few hermit crabs at the bottom, too. So it has a pretty eclectic mix at the moment, which is kind of fun. Let's see here. This one, we have the Royal Grandma 2. And yes, it does say Grandma, for anybody who wants to contact their grandma and talk to them after this, if I'm reminding you. But you also have these black bar soldier fish. So, 2 tanks already. Pretty eclectic stuff in there. We do have a couple more over here, too. These are both being run by pumps. So that Supreme Pump that we have the option of researching later, the power pump, looks like it can actually pump to 2 different tanks at once, which is really helpful for these smaller tanks. So whoever built this before, aka computer or game developer, did a very good job laying this out so far. But we're going to have to make room for our cuckoo guy, right? So what we want to do here is we actually want to... This is usually how I do it. We pause the action, and what you do is you want to hit this plus sign, and you could open up as much of the floor as you want. That you have money for, I should say. And there we go. We have that set up. So now it says we need to build a tank at a volume of 50. So we actually don't have one at 50. So this might actually be a smart idea to go back to our research here and go back to the Belfast tank. We're going to confirm that and switch our research over to that because that's what we need. So as of right now, there's not really much we can do. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to hit this button and we're going to speed up the action here. And we're going to kind of wait for things to sort of level up here. And in the meantime, we need to check out what other fish we have available to see if we can bring our science numbers up quicker. Because those will only go up so quick. You'll see the patrons as they go around, they get these bubbles above their head. So there's 3 different things so far that they do. They have these little yellow, I guess tokens you might call them. And this is what increases your rank. So at the moment we're trying to reach 630, and that's when we'll hit a rank of 6. And you hit guest thoughts, you can actually see what people think of what you're doing. So you can see tank 3 looks a bit bare. A couple guests have complained about that. So we can check out tank 3. That's tank 2. Oh, we hit day 3. We hit day 3. Looks like one of your guests is hungry. Build some chocolate vending machines. So let's go ahead and do that after we check out tank 3. That's tank 1. Tank 3. Okay, so tank 3 actually has a pretty good eclectic mix here. I'm surprised people are complaining about that. But you can see here we now have 2 to-do lists. So we have hungry guests and we have cold water debut for the other guys. So we have to build 2 chocolate vending machines for the guests. Now what's cool about this is that when you go in and you create these vending machines, you can actually go back and you can switch where these are located at any point. There we go. So we'll put those there. And anytime you put any kind of food item in your place, you also want to put a bin in here. Because otherwise people will not throw out their trash, they'll just leave it around. So I like to keep my place clean. Put one here, put one here. And we'll put one there too. So there we go. Things are looking good. Let's see, we have a tool chest over here. And so the other thing that we want to do is probably build a, let's see. Oh, we should probably put a toilet in there. Probably a good idea. These are another thing that I like to make room for, though. We're gonna open up that area there, and we will put a bathroom in here. There we go. I guess I only needed to make 2 areas, but, or take 2 squares, but no big deal. We'll put another bathroom over here on the other side. And there we go. Basic toilet. There it is. Somebody wants a drink, so we're going to put in a second vending machine. So like I said, at any point you can actually go ahead and grab this, move it, and we can actually grab the fizzy drink machine and put one right next to the food one. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So at any point, you can move any of this stuff, which is what I really, really like. I was never a fan of tycoon games that sort of punish you for like making a mistake, because to me it never made sense that, because you're filling out the game, you're trying to understand why you're doing the things you're doing and what's the best way to set it up. So I like that whenever you put something in, it doesn't penalize you, and if you make a mistake, you can at any point bulldoze something with this demolish button here, and it'll give you back the money you spend on it. So you can see that was going to give me 25 bucks back, and you could see that the bin cost 25 bucks. So I really, really like that aspect of it. I think everybody is pretty well taken care of at this moment, but we got to get a new fish in here, right? So let's check out what fish we have here. Those guys seem like they're all getting along pretty well. Now, you find that some fish are actually considered bullies too. This bully will pester fish that are considered wimps. So what do these guys have? Okay, so these guys cannot be paired with green pellet fish. Other fish who eat green pellets. So that guy eats orange, and he is a bully, so we can't put in wimps. Wow, this tank is going to be hard to actually add something to. Let's see what we got here. That yellow tank is a plant lover. He eats green though. We need to find someone who eats yellow. All right, cool. So the cuckoo is done. We just got to wait for the tank. Let's go with the starfish here. Now, at any point, if things are moving too fast and you need to slow them down because you need to think, you can actually pause it at any point and take a second just to, like, drop a fish in if you want. We do have a porcupine fish. Yeah, he's a wimp, though. We can't put him in. Let's see, the humpback snapper requires a tank with 54, with a depth of 54 or more. So some of these fish are getting kind of tough to deal with here. Okay, so what I can do here is I can actually build some lights, I think. Right? Let's see, where are the lights? Tool station, sponge sink. We do have lights, right? Or do I have to research those? Ah, that's right, they are in the filtration area here. So basic light, we can put the basic lights on here. That'll give us 5. And then we could put in some of these basic mushrooms, I think. Yep, that's all the basic mushrooms needed was 5. So we'll put a mushroom here. And we'll put one there at the front. On top of that, let's decorate this tank up a little bit too. Let's do some of this feather callirpa stuff here. Put that behind the mushroom. And let's also do the driftwood or some kind of cave here. Here we go, rocky overhang. No, actually, let's just stick with our driftwood. No, you know what? I do want to show off the rocky overhang. There we go. See, look at that. That looks really nice. There we go. We unpause it. There we go. We got some more fish in there. And it has been repaired. It seems like everybody's getting along. And he needs to eat. There is a purple one that's over here, but there's a purple one there. So to fix that situation, you can actually go in, and I'll show this as well too, because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of room here. I'm going to pause this, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to move all these pieces of walls out one space. Okay, and then we actually need to build some walls. So you have this wall icon right up here, and we're going to close this off because you actually lose points and you lose the crowd whenever they can see inside the staff headquarters. They don't want to ever see like what you're doing inside there. And actually, on top of that, instead of only having a door on one side, let's also put in a door on the other side. It's easier for the employees to get in if you do it that way. There we go. And what we want to do here is we want to grab, we can actually hit unpause it now because we have it closed off. And at this point we need to build a purple food that is right here. There we go, purple food, or pink food I guess it is. And one other thing I noticed we didn't have was a broom closet. Broom stand, there we go. So we're going to put one there in case anybody does decide to throw some garbage down. We'll be okay. Alright, so you notice that the heating is actually going down for these guys here for some odd reason. It's hanging at 69 out of 70. And we seem to have enough heat here. What do we got else? We got large heaters. and we got one large filter that's running both of them. So what we could do to fix this, actually, you could do like a small little band-aid remedy. You can grab a power heater, these little ones here, and you can actually put that there. Or no, I apologize. Actually, we want the filtration system is what we want. But that filter is working overtime, and it needs to be repaired. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the power filter. That's what we want. Now, when you're placing these things, you'll see that this is actually blocking their workbench, so you never want to do that. You want to actually make it so that way the workers can access everything. Absolutely everything. So we're going to go ahead and... Let's see. I don't think we actually have a space where we can move this to that's easy, so... Where can we move the workbench? The workbench we can actually move over here. There we go. So now filtration is looking good. Yep, filtration is good now. Whoop. And they can now access the workbench as well. So everybody's happy, everybody's good. And it says here, one of your staff is about to level up. This will allow you to choose an increase in one of their skills. Okay, so this is the first time I've actually seen this. That's kind of fun, actually. So at this point, we can choose a new skill. She's at 2, 1 for feeding, 1 for fixing. Let's have her learn cleaning, because we definitely need someone who can clean. And... oh, we have somebody who has gift shop experience. That's kind of interesting. Well, I'd rather someone be like a 2 in feeding, so that way they get on the feeding when they need to. And I'm actually going to go in and see if I can hire somebody else who's really good at repairing. Here we go. Here's someone who's really good at fixing, so let's hire them. And there, we now have another worker in here. We can actually turn down the fast motion here just a bit. This is taking a while for us to get... our tank here, so I think I'm just going to leave it on fast forward here. We at least have to be able to buy a... Oh man, the bathrooms are dirty. Look at that. We need a sink. So let's build our sink. Let's pause it real quick. And let's go to here. Sponge sink. There we go. That is now built. So hopefully someone will get in there and clean, because we need it. You'll notice in the bottom... left here that you also have a small email message icon. If you click that, your messages will pop up and you'll get all kinds of different messages. So you'll get the thing that we just read about staff leveling, about hungry guests that we got earlier, about the chillers that we need to put into a certain tank for this guy here. But at the same time, we have the porcupine puffer. They said that he has grown, so that's good. Alright, while we're waiting for this tank, let's go ahead and just build another tank while we wait here for that one to get done. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to build... Let's see, what do we want? Let's check out our fish first. Who is the big bully fish? Actually, I really like the school banner fish here. I don't think we have them out yet. At least I don't think I saw them out here anywhere. So let's go ahead and put in a tank that they will be able to use and enjoy here. So we're going to do a deep observer tank. And at any point you're putting one of these in, you can actually drag and make it bigger. So if we want to make it that big, we can. I think I'm going to make it longer than bigger, so we'll make it about that size. And when you place a tank in, you don't have to worry that, you know, people are in the way. They will move right out of the way. And at any point, you can actually pick them up as well and move them out of the way if you need to build your walls, okay? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this, because it's right by the bathroom, put it there. And you'll see that the wall actually is right here, so we don't need to build a wall there, but we do need to build a wall here. There we go. Actually, I think we need to build it all the way across. There it is. And then, for this side here, we want to build this. There. And, of course, as you guys already know, first things first, we got to get a staff door in there. There we go. So I'm going to unpause so that way our research continues and we can start building this tank. Actually, we can probably open that up too. It doesn't matter that the bathroom is right there. And there we go. We have this nice large space we can put over here. And let's see. I do actually pause the game when I put in the fish, because what I'll usually do is I'll add them in. We'll just add in a ton of them here. And now it's telling you, as you can see here, that currently it is a very low temperature for the banner fish. So what we're going to do here is we're going to fix all these things by keeping the game paused and making sure we go in and we add everything from a large heater. There we go. That took care of the heating. Then we're going to add in, let's see, we need filtration systems, so we need a large filter. There we go. We need probably another one, so yeah, because it's at 61. So will a power filter take care of it? It won't. Okay, so this, we got the money. There's no reason to be cheap here, right? Let's go ahead and just add another large filter. Wow, it still wasn't enough. You see that? Needs a lot of filtration. This is why I really wanted to research that protein skimmer, though, because with the protein skimmer, it really helps because it doubles your filtration here. So, for example, if we put one of these in, you see there it really jumped up. Actually, let's see, if we delete this, will it be enough? It looks like it is. So we'll do one filter, one protein skimmer, and then we need a green box of food in here, and a platform. So the platform we will put right here, and of course, don't forget you need to put the stairs in there too. Stairs, very important. If you don't put the stairs there, they can't get there to feed them. And let's see, we need a green food, so let's go ahead, grab the green food. Boom. And now we are almost ready to open this. You can see there's one more thing we got to add, which is some seaweed stuff. Some plants. So let's get in there with some kelp. Kelp only adds 2. We'll do the corners here. Do like maybe like a zigzag thing here. We need 4 more. So we'll just plop in a couple of sea lettuces here in the back. Nice. There we go. We have some happy fish, so we can hit resume. And boom, there we go. Look at all the people around the bannerfish just loving it. And you see how fast we got the starfish there? Because all those green leaves were popping up. Let's go with the Atlantic pollock, because I have a feeling a to-do list will come up for him because he's got the cold water icon here. But you can see down there on the left, his bar is just like going up quick because these people are loving the bannerfish. Now, unfortunately, the bannerfish don't really have much in the way of like a science upgrade. Though it does say number of science points earned whenever a guest views this is 44, so it is going up. So we'll have that tank in no time here. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna actually prep and get ready to get that tank out there, because before you know it, that's what we're gonna be building. And I think what we want to do is we actually want to expand this area. I think that's where we're gonna put it. So we'll expand this. And let's see, what do we got? Usually what I like to do is I like to kind of grab this stuff and balance it out in front of certain tanks here. Oh, get out of here. Nope, that goes there. And we'll put this bench there. And let me build another bench. We'll put that there. Plenty of seating for everybody. Enjoy. Wow. We are researching fish like crazy, man. We just unlocked the Atlantic pollock. It only needs to be fed every other day. This is useful as it reduces the feeding demands on your staff. That is good. Speaking of which, we should probably hire somebody else. Probably for feeding. So let's get her in there to help us out. Yeah, we're getting really close to getting that new tank, which is exciting because we'll be able to put in our first fish for our first to-do list up here. Okay, so actually it says we have a tank of 50 volume, so we don't really need that tank, do we? What is the volume on this one? It must have been that tank. Even though I can't see the actual volume measurement on it. Maybe it's actually in the menu here. We did a deep observer tank. No, that was 36. Though it says that we have a tank at 50. We built a tank at 50 somehow. Oh, you know what? It's probably when we made it bigger, I'm assuming, right? So we probably could have put that guy in. Okay. Well, we're this close to this tank already. You know, live and learn, play and learn, right? So we might as well wait for this one. Things seem to be going pretty well here, though. Let's see what the guests are saying. Let's see. Tank 2 looks a bit bare. Tank 1 looks lifeless. Yikes. So you gotta keep up on that stuff. You gotta keep your guests happy, or else you're not gonna level up. Those fish seem a bit cold. There we go. We got the Belfast tank. Let's go with the... Let's go back to the protein skimmer here. Alright. Let's pause the action here. We have the Belfast tank. Let's put it in. Let's see. Here it is. So this is going to be plenty big for our other friend. We want to put plenty of space so people can walk around it. So let's put it there. And let's grab this guy and put him over here. All right. So this one actually requires a bigger platform than what we're used to. We're going to give ourselves a little bit more space here. So you can see when you put the platform in on this guy, you actually need 2 sets of stairs. Now, I made this mistake when I built this tank in the last level. When I built it, I didn't realize I needed another set of stairs next to it, which was really funny. So I'm like, why can't I feed these fish? I was getting so irritated, and I'm like, oh, it needed more stairs. I had no idea. But again, it's one of those play and learn situations, you know? All right, so what we got here is... Actually, we may have to expand even further. So we need to expand here and go here. And just for the sake of being symmetrical, put that there. And I think actually what we'll do is we'll bulldoze that. And I think we will put another basic toilet there. There we go. Can't have too many toilets. People got to go, you know? All right, so at this point, we are going to drop the fish in here. And we are doing the cuckoo. This guy here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we've hit that check mark, but we've got a lot of stuff to take care of here. So we're gonna, again, add a bit more space here because we're gonna have to do a pump situation. And what kind of food do they eat? I totally missed it. Let's see. Cuckoo eats the cockles, which is this one here. Okay. Let's get that one in there. I can come back to it. And let's get our pump in gear. Actually, we might as well take this and move it here because we're going to end up putting the pump back here somewhere. Okay. We got a basic pump. We don't have the big pump yet, which kind of sucks. But we'll do what we can. All right. Let's put this pump. What you want to do with these pumps, you want to put them like right in the middle so that way they're accessible to your workers, okay? So the pump is now connected to that. You see we placed it, connected it, and we are now going to go ahead and grab some really good stuff here to hopefully take care of the water filtration. That one's taken care of. And what else does he need? Okay, we need to get the chillers in there. So basic chiller, one there. One there. There we go. So we're hitting all the marks here. Oops. It says you're so cool. Did you see that? You just got a bump to your base prestige for exhibiting the first cold water fish tank in the history of Valberg Aquarium. So that's a big accomplishment, right? Base prestige doesn't degrade over time like normal prestige does. So that's the thing, is that your prestige, those little yellow tokens that we were talking about earlier, that actually fluctuates a lot. So sometimes, you know, it'll be saying like you got to hit 650, which I think is our goal here to rank up to 6. So you'll notice that the guests will sometimes, like, it'll be reaching 550, but it'll keep fluctuating between 550 and like 475 throughout like the days until you keep building more tanks and more fish until it puts it over the edge. So the secret of this game is to just keep building, but keep building unique stuff because that's what people want to see. Anyway, on to the next challenge. Continue to expand your range of animals, both tropical and cold water, with the aim of reaching rank 6. So, we need to put in the caves here. We need to make them happy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now they're happy. And just for fun, we're also going to throw in some kelp here. That way it just looks a little bit more lively, you know? And go ahead. We can now go. And we have our brand new fish tank that we just built right here. People are really into it. Oh, and you know what I forgot? Really dumb move on my part here. We are going to add a staff door because I completely forgot to do that. So let's go ahead and grab a staff door. Get in there. Cool. So now they can get in there to feed them. Let's go ahead and hit play. And it says we got our lionfish now. And we'll research the sponge, I guess. Hold on one second here. So this is giving me the... Oh, I think it just fixed it. Okay. At this point, I'm gonna pause. Where's my staff at? You guys need to feed this guy. Where are you? Why is nobody cleaning the bathrooms? This guy is too unfeeding. Okay, so we're gonna grab you because you look like you're just kind of hanging out here. We're gonna place you there. Oh no, he had green food apparently. Grab this food. Be like, what is this guy doing? There we go. Someone else showed up. So I would say that's one of the detriments of this game that I'm not the biggest fan of, is that like sometimes you'll drop workers where you want them to do something. It doesn't seem obvious to me. Like there might be a way to do it, but I'm not sure exactly how you're supposed to do it. So that I feel like was a little bit weird, because I played other tycoon games where you can like drop somebody near a thing and they'll take care of the closest thing. In this game, that doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, let's see here. Let's spruce things up just a bit more. Build a couple benches here. I'm actually not super happy with that. There we go. We already got the vending machines there, so those people can grab a snack. Head over here. I'm actually going to throw that there at the corner. And I'll move that there. I'll move this bench over closer to that one. Move that bin there. There we go. Now there's plenty of bench room for everybody. Wow, we are really moving through the research here. This is crazy. The science research, though, is taking a lot more time. But there you go, guys. I think that's a really good look at Megaquarium. I think at this point you're going to kind of understand whether this is a game for you or not. I'm actually going to go ahead and save my game here. I'm going to do a new save here. This is Valberg. Okay, so we're just going to name this Valberg up. Boom, there we go. So you can see right there, that was a good 30 minutes into a level of this. Like I said, I think you kind of get the idea of like what this is all about. If you're, like I said at the very beginning, if you're into tycoon games, I feel like this is going to be a game you absolutely love, because I started playing this just a few days ago, and I've already put, you know, over 5 hours into it, and I'm really, really enjoying myself with it. Like I said, you know, there's a couple little things with it, a couple little hitches. The game, you know, I'm sure it's going to be updated and fixed up, because over the last, you know, few days, the last, you know, half a week, 4 or 5 days or whatever I've been playing it, the developers have been updating it quite a bit. So if you do see issues or whatever, I'm sure those are in the pipeline to be fixed. But for the most part, this thing runs great. I haven't seen too many issues with it or with how it works or anything like that. And they give you a really robust tutorial series to go through the game and actually just play it the way it is. And it really, really works. So, again, having a great time with Megaquarium. I definitely recommend it for all you tycoon fans out there. And for those of you who actually want to play a tycoon game maybe for the first time, I feel like it's a good entry-level tycoon game. But regardless, everybody, thank you for watching. GG, and I'll see you all next time.
GRC.